Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I hope everyone's having a great day. This is my 2023 MK8 Golf R 20th anniversary edition. And right now it's extremely dirty, as you guys can tell by the wheels and stuff. I'm probably gonna clean it a little bit later today. But just figured I'd make a video on 5 things I dislike about this vehicle. Or I think it's like 4 things. And then there's a few things that I think Volkswagen could have done better. It's not necessarily deal breakers or anything like that, but just things I think Volkswagen could have done better. So I'll give you guys a quick little walk around here. 100% stock right now. It's got the window tint, that's all. Stock 20th anniversary Golf R. No mods yet, just the stage 1 tune by 034 Motorsport. No transmission tune yet, which kind of sucks for 2023 and newer models and some late model 22s. Alrighty, I got you guys set up on the POV hat. I got my little notes here so I don't lose my train of thought. But let's take off here. So for the first thing that's a little disappointing that I dislike about the car is the throttle response and how quick the transmission shifts when you're in just normal drive. So I'm in my custom mode right now, which still has like the transmission set up to normal because I don't like when it holds the gear super long. But let me go into mode here, and sport mode is like normal mode for Golf R's, just in case you guys are wondering. Comfort is like a eco mode, and then sport is like normal, because when you start the car it defaults to starting in sport. So we're gonna take off here and I'll show you guys kind of what I'm talking about. So I have my car tuned right now, but the transmission shifts like super early. Like I'm like putting my foot down pretty hard right now. Now it's finally starting to go. So how I've been able to combat this, because obviously when you live with a car you kind of learn its idiosyncrasies and you learn how to like overcome its issues. But what I usually do if I don't want to feel like slow when I take off is, like, let's say for example I'm at a stoplight, right? And I'm trying to take off quick without flooring it, obviously if you floor it it'll give you full power. But what I like to do is I like to put my foot down really hard in the beginning and then slowly let up on it, because then it'll keep the RPMs kind of high as it's shifting and it won't feel as sluggish. But if you start slow, like if you start like pushing on the gas like a little bit and then you start kind of pushing it down more and more and more, that's when it feels like the most sluggish, because it like doesn't do much of anything. So I'll show you the sluggish way first. So this is the sluggish way. Okay, now I'm starting to put my foot down harder, putting it down harder. It's still shifting early. Now it's kind of falling on its face. Then now it's moving. So it takes a little while for it to get going when you do it that way. Whereas the other way, to take off quick, put your foot down hard first, and then let up on the gas. See? Now it takes off good. And that was with me barely tapping the gas. So I put it down hard at first, and then I let up on it, and then I was easy on the gas. Then it'll take off quick and it'll shift nice. Or you can just make it easy like what I do and just pop it in S mode. Just pop it in S and then it'll shift a little bit later in the RPMs and it'll give you a little better throttle response. For number 2, I want to talk about there's no engine braking and there's no trans braking in this car. So for example, my Mustang GT that I had before this car, or I should say a couple cars before this one, it had really good engine braking. So if you downshift at like 4,000, 5,000 RPM, the car is really, the engine is working a lot to slow you down. I don't know if that's because it's naturally aspirated or if it's because it's a V8. I think it's because it's naturally aspirated, because my EcoBoost Mustang didn't have good engine braking, and all my turbo cars don't have good engine braking. But all the NA cars that I've driven and had do have good engine braking. But for example, if I downshift, like you see I'm going, well, I'm starting to go up a hill now, but you see I downshift to 3rd gear. The car is like barely slowing down at all. Barely slowing down. 2nd gear, again, car is still barely slowing down. It's still going fast. So that's one thing I kind of dislike, is the lack of engine braking, because I'm a guy that doesn't like to be hard on the brakes all the time, because for one, this car has a lot of brake dust, and for 2, I don't want to go through brake pads like really fast. So I like cars where I can downshift and have the car kind of slow down for me. And that's just kind of annoying just because I have to be hard on the brakes all the time. So like if I get done accelerating fast and then I need to slow down, I can't like downshift and let the car help me slow down. It'll just like, it like runs away. Another dislike I want to talk about is the clunks within the transmission. So this transmission in general is a pretty good transmission. It shifts really fast. It has the cool little shift sounds and all that. The paddle shifters are decent for the most part, especially when you're on the gas. When you're off the gas, the paddles aren't the fastest in the world, but when you're on the gas, they're pretty good. So like for example, we're not really hard on the gas. There's that huge clunk. I don't know if you guys felt that. That second to third gear clunk is really annoying in manual mode. It's only in manual mode it does that. Like when you're normally driving, it doesn't clunk. But yeah, so that's one little downside, is the clunks within the transmission. Another thing too is, like, I'll show you an example. Let's go on the side street here. So like if I'm in race mode, or let's put ourselves in, yeah, if I'm in race mode, it raises the RPMs, right? Or if I put the car in manual mode, it'll also raise the RPMs. When I come to a stop and put in park, it does a big clunk, and it doesn't sound like healthy. So for example, let's come to a stop here. I'm gonna roll down my window to see if you can even hear it. Okay. Let me turn off the hazards here. So we came to a stop. Let me put in park. I will smooth that time. I think it's when I'm in manual mode. Hold on. Let me try this again. I think it's when I'm in manual mode. Okay, let's try this again. Come to a stop. Put in park. There's a clunk. I don't know if you guys heard it, but it kind of went as it went into park. And I don't know if that's because it's in manual mode or whatever, but that clunk is kind of annoying too, because sometimes I'll drive around with the paddle shifters. I'll pull into my garage and it'll be in manual mode gear number 1, and I'll put it in park and it'll be like so it sounds kind of like the car's like braking. When the car is cold, and this is probably normal of dual clutch transmissions, it's probably not out of the ordinary, but when the car is cold, it is a little lurchy on the gears at first, but once you drive around for like 30 seconds, it kind of goes away. But at first it can be a little lurchy when the car is cold, the transmission. So one little gripe there. The last gripe that I have with the car, let's go down this little side road here. The last gripe I have with the car is the infotainment system. Now, it's not as bad as people make it out to be, like as far as like, you know, using it and stuff. It's not like horrible, but it could be better. So let me pull off to the side here. Let's do some little off-roading here in the Golf R. Hopefully I don't get a nail in my tire or something. All right, so let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So let's say I want to, like right now the temperature's at 77 degrees, right? So if let's say I get into the car, it's super hot out and I want the temperature to be on cold, I have to go like this, all the way down to low. And it's kind of annoying to use this slider, I'm gonna be honest with you. And then at night you can't really see it and you're like turning down your volume and stuff. So this slider is kind of annoying. If you go into the actual climate screen, you can go like this, and then you can go this way, and you can kind of go down like that. You can hold it to go up and down. It's not terrible, it moves pretty quick, but again, it's something that's a little bit more work than it needs to be. Not a huge deal, but kind of annoying. And then to change the fan speed, obviously you can go up and down like that. That's usually not too big of an issue for me. Then there's the different zones and stuff, heated seats. It would be nice if there was like, you know, just a simple button, but the touchscreen doesn't bother me too much. The only part that's annoying, because I can just touch it once and then it'll be on full level 3 for the heated seats. The part that's annoying is when I want to turn the heated seat off, because then I have to press it 1, 2, 3 times. And when I'm here at a standstill, it's not that big of an issue, but when you're driving, your fingers kind of like moving like this, and I'm like trying to like you know, turn down the heated seat. And I know it sounds kind of stupid, but it's just stuff that you realize when you live with the car. So again, the infotainment system could be better. Some people complain about the steering wheel controls. I don't really have an issue with that. Some people say that they press the heated steering wheel button when they're driving. I don't notice that as an issue either. I think I maybe done that once. So maybe if you're driving like this and you're, you know, touching the button while you're driving, but I drive like this, you know, this. I don't ever like touch that button really. So that's not really an issue for me. As far as like the 4 things I hate about the car, that's it, just those simple 4 things. But there are quite a few things that I think Volkswagen could have done better just to make this car that much better. So let me go ahead and flip over my notes here. So for one, I wish they made higher quality carpet. I mentioned this in my GTI video as well, but this carpet right here is like styrofoam, or it's like cardboard. Like this carpet is terrible. I keep my car super clean, so it's not as big of an issue for me, other than the fact that it feels like crap. But if you have like dogs and stuff, like it'd be so hard to clean this carpet just because it's such low quality. So that's one downside. And even the Audi RS3, which is on the same platform as this car, has the same low quality carpet. So that's one downside. Another thing that's kind of annoying is the stock exhaust. So it sounds okay, like it's better than a car that sounds like nothing, but you definitely can't really hear it. I'll make a video eventually going over like how the stock exhaust sounds, but you don't really hear much of anything, and the modes don't even make that big of a difference. Like the comfort mode, like this is considered like quiet exhaust. You definitely don't hear it from in the cabin, and from outside you don't hear much either. And then this is supposed to be like the loud exhaust. I'm gonna put it on my custom mode because that's in pure, which means that there's no sound actor. So this is just exhaust only. Definitely makes a difference over the other one, and you can hear little burbles and stuff, but the stock exhaust is like not loud enough in my personal opinion, because the whole point of having a valved exhaust is to make it quiet when you want to and then loud when you want to. So the fact that it's quiet kind of in both modes is a little frustrating, but that's super easy to fix, obviously, with the aftermarket exhaust. However, some of the exhausts I've heard on this car don't really sound the greatest. Like they sound like they're kind of muffled as well, which is kind of weird, you know, but I don't know, maybe it's just the way these cars sound. Number 3, I wish this area was matte like the 2022 models. This gloss black, you can see the sun is kind of shining off of it. You can see the dust, you can see the fingerprint scratches. So this is kind of bad because it has glare, it doesn't look as good. I think the matte was much better like on the 2022 models. Another thing, under the hood, it does not have a hood strut. So on the Mark 7 generation, they did have hood struts. For the Mark 8, for some reason, they went back to a prop rod. No idea why. I don't know if it's cost savings or whatever, but the hood strut would be nice. So some Volkswagen models have remote start. For whatever reason, the Golf R, even though it's like their top of the line, like performance car, does not have remote start. No idea why. It's not on the key fob. It's not even on the Volkswagen app that you can get. Oh, that was a rough bump. So I kind of wish they had remote start. And then last but not least, this car, it always defaults to sport, which is like normal in this car. So you have to change your drive mode every single time. And then another thing is the auto start stop. That's another thing where you have to turn it off every single time you get in the car if your car is not tuned. Like mine's tuned, so mine's automatically defaulted to off. You can see there, it's off. But on the stock car, it automatically turns on every single time. Auto start stop's really annoying, so I don't like it. I don't use it, so I keep it off all the time now that my car is tuned. But that's about it. I hope this video gave you guys some good information. You know, if you're looking for a Golf R and trying to decide the pros and cons and stuff like that. This is stuff that I've experienced over my past 12,000 miles of owning this car. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you guys think. If you guys have a Golf R, what are your gripes and stuff like that? And you guys know I can't do a Golf R video without doing a little acceleration here. So let's go and put ourselves in a race. And let's get on it. It's fast with the tune, guys. I mean, even stock it's impressive, but this 034 Motorsport Stage 1 low torque tune, oh man. It gets up and moves. It especially pulls up top. And I think that's part of the nature, since this one's a low torque tune, is because it doesn't hit you super hard at low RPMs. It's more of like a progressive, like top end pull, which feels really good actually. Oh man. Just downshift a couple gears here. Wow. Whew, that was fun. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.